Widows, boss of ghouls, how are you all doing? Today I'm looking into haunt media and I'm feeling very, very underdressed. This chap here is called Mason, aka the Paranormal Engine. What? If he can dress snazzy, so can I. Mrs. Geek, my new suit is a bit big on me. Bring the lard. So if you don't know Mason the Paranormal Engineer, I did a live stream with him because he goes to locations and looks into specific claims made by specific teams and tries to debunk, disprove, or prove. Fantastic. Now, Mason has been accused of being an armchair critic, despite going out. Much like the Side-Eye Guy has, Mike has, Dandalf has, I have. We've all investigated. Now, I will say this loud and I will say this proud to the rafters. You don't have to go to haunted locations to be a debunker. You can be a debunker just by analysing video footage. It is quite that simple. So I'm going to loosely cover on what the Paranormal Engineers uncovered. Mindseed 2.0 aka Haunt Media. I've got the two locations, the ghost house and the docks house. Mason, living in the area of East Texas, went, I wonder if I can find those locations. It turns out, A, they may not have had the permission that they made out that they had. B, they've absolutely made up these bullshit stories. And C, they've been quite shitty to Mason back in response, because Mason did something a lot of us don't do and was like, hey, I've made these discoveries about your videos. I think it's only right that you put things right because, and then he lists off all the issues they found. Haunt Media took down the two videos and then slated him and other debunkers for not ever making an impact in the paranormal. Apparently we small fish in big ponds. Tanner not so much, but Colton, you only ever got to where you are because of Casey Nolan. Wind your neck in, you horrible prick. Now they also say something about defamation. Yeah, when we got first rodeo with defamation, I called you fake, Seg called you fake, Dandalf called you fake, Shape called you fake, Crew of Judas called you fake. Every debunker has called you guys fake. Whether it's with Mindseed or whatever, not a single one of us ever received a defamation lawsuit. I believe my Mindseed debunks are probably the most viewed ones along with Segs. So who have you taken for defamation? Because it's certainly none of us on YouTube. Go and watch Mason tear them apart. Because what he actually does, go to the home, go to the homeowners, go to the local records, go to the local graveyards to search for the graves of the ghosts in this house. Can't find any signs of these people being alive at any point. But of course, Haunt Media, they step things up and they make some really disgusting claims about people and children in regards to this haunting, and Mason, you know, rightly calls them out for it. Go and check all that out because that's fantastic work by Mason. Please go and check that out. I will link it in the description down below. He's done some good work here. And it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. And then I saw that he actually went to Haunt Media themselves and said, hey, you can't do that. I think you should retract certain elements of your videos, and they pulled them. But there was a back and forth between them. And the back and forth lets you know everything you need to know. Tanner came across pretty bad. But Colton, put the weights down, you twat, and read a book. Fucking hell. This handsome young chap in a suit that's not quite as nice as my three-piece suit. Stay till the end. I'll show you what I'm really wearing. There's a reason he's wore the suit, and I found it comedy gold. And I want in. I want in on the comedy gold, so I wore a suit. Right, let's listen, let's learn.
So that's pretty much the end of their ghost house investigation. Naturally, following this investigation, I had a lot of questions. Like, did they actually have permission from the owner? Now, it does seem to me like they know someone in the area, but is it the owner of the ghost house? Well, I was able to track down one of the owners of the ghost house and ask her directly. And would you be surprised to find out that she had no idea that they were on this property and was adamant that they did not?
I am shocked to my core. The two people that were involved in Mindseed may have told a little white lie. They've lied out of their teeth, in my opinion. They absolutely did not have permission to access this home or property. This is wild. I'll pass along to my ex-husband, and if he wants to reach out, I'll give you a... Colton, Tanner, you bad boys.
In fact, have permission to be there. And if that's true, it adds just another insult to the multitude of injuries done by Haunt Media.
They faked the ghost. Yeah, I look like a fat John Wick that's been living under a bin. My postman once said that to me. Look like John Wick that never quite got over his dog and let himself go. I miss that postman. He was fun.
To this family. I do want to add that the owners are divorced. So there is a chance that there's a miscommunication between the woman and the man who owned the property.
Fair enough. Fair comment.
However, she did seem to be extremely confident. She did forward my information to the other homeowner, and I have yet to hear back. I also reached out to him on my own, and again, nothing. Now, conveniently, about 12 hours after I got in contact with the homeowners, I received a message from Tanner of Haunt Media. And he was responding to my original request that they remove certain elements from their video that exposed private information.
Fair play, fair play. Love that. Love that. I tend not to engage with people too often because they're professional fucking liars, most of them. And I don't like getting my pants pulled down.
His message was pretty short. It just said, thanks, we'll remove the video. And naturally, after, getting this information from the owner, I had more questions. So here's what I followed up with. Sorry, I have to get my phone out for this one. Well, Tanner, I got in contact with the owners of the ghost house property, and they said that they had no idea you were there.
Shocking behaviour. Almost like chairs stacking up on top of each other with a camera cut.
And that you absolutely did not have permission to be on the property. I also reached out to the dox house owner and am waiting to hear back. If this is true, you have lied to the public as well as accused innocent people, living and dead, of being involved in crimes.
So, before you go any further, go and watch Mason's video, linked in the description down below, and go and see what he's talking about there. About groups of adults watching children and somebody being drowned in a pond on purpose. It's pretty horrific. And the denial after the fact, honestly, you'd swear Andrew from Proving Demons wrote it.
Which may or may not have taken place if the story is fictional. And without a doubt, trespassed on private property. Now,
in the UK, trespass is a civil matter, it's not a criminal offence. I believe in Texas, it's a criminal offence. Imagine going onto somebody's private property in Texas. You're lucky you didn't come out looking like a sieve with holes everywhere. Jesus.
From all the info I've gathered, it seems clear to me that you've got in contact with someone who knows this area well. I am willing to hear your side of the story. I
personally, after hearing the story and realising none of these people existed, think they wrote it in ChatGPT. They just found an abandoned property or two in the area when they were staying and was like, yep, let's make this shit up.
Are willing to tell it and clear the record, but this looks really bad. Here was his response. To be 100% clear,
for the first time in your career, Tanner,
had permission to be at both properties.
Right.
I believe there may have been a miscommunication about the videos being posted on YouTube.
Really? So basically, Tanner and Colton make out that this homeowner approached them to investigate this house. Knowing these guys from YouTube, from Mindseed and Haunt Media, would it not be safe to assume that she would know that there would be a video to follow up? This isn't a paid location where you got to sign any waivers. Fishy.
We didn't accuse them of anything.
They did. Lots of things. Unaliving other people. Stuff with kids. It was pretty bad. But the evidence came from gadgets, ghost boxes and shit. Honestly, it's horrendous.
If you watch the content, you would see we found some curious evidence, but no actual accusations were made. We didn't trespass and did nothing illegal. The videos are no longer up because of the information I gave them.
I'm willing to bet, and this is just my opinion, I'm willing to bet that they've shit themselves, realised the homeowners are involved and gone, quick, take them down before we get in trouble. Because Mason, no disrespect to Mason whatsoever, is a small channel. And they've probably thought, nobody's going to watch it really, we should be okay. Allow me, Colton and Tanner, allow me to shed some light on this bullshit. well dressed really nicely.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's break it down. He immediately denies the claims of not having permission, which were made, again, by the owner of the property. So that's not a claim that should be taken lightly.
No.
But then he follows it up by saying that they may not have had permission to post the videos on YouTube. What do you mean? If the person who reached out to you is truly one of your fans, they would have to know that that video is going to end up on YouTube. I just don't understand that at all.
I could hazard a guess, Mason.
Now, the next claim really started to make my blood boil, because he's saying that he didn't accuse the family of anything, and I think we all know that that just isn't the case.
Where's your tie, man? I wore a tie and everything.
It's in the goddamn thumbnail. They lied. Who's the they you're referring to, Tanner? And then he goes on to just gaslight me and say that I didn't watch the video. I have had to sit through this painfully long, boring ass video at least 3 times all the way through, and then had to pick it apart for God knows how many more hours after that.
See, this is the thing. This is what these fakers... you didn't even watch the video. And we do. We all do. If we don't watch the entire thing, we say, I've tapped out. I'm done with it. I can't listen to any more of the bullshit. I've turned it off. I've skipped the Spirit Box sessions. These guys don't watch our videos. Same as that drunken muppet. I pay you no mind. Stop making videos about me, you klutz. But that drunken idiot puts out a video and he's like, I didn't see this. I didn't see that. Motherfucker. 2 live streams, 5 Instagram reels, 6 now where you did say it. You can't deny it because you've deleted the evidence. I still got it all. But this is what they do, all of them. They all lie, they all put out this bullshit content, and then to defend the lie and defend the bullshit content, they have to lie. And when they have to lie, they catch themselves out. And then people like me, Mason, and the other debunkers will go, hang on, this is exactly what you said when you said it. And then they tried to twist it and play games. And recently, people have started to see it for themselves. I'm having fans of these channels come to me and be like, didn't believe you. Really didn't like you. But holy shit, if they showed themselves up. On a positive note, though, having people like Really Haunted reach out to me to say, well, hang on, nothing to do with me. I didn't do it. Tom from Haunted Finders, like, I'm disgusted by those comments. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with my channel. Sorry, I feel better now. I had a bit of a rant. Ranty beardo.
Hell, the only people I think who have seen this video more than me are Colton and Tanner themselves.
I don't think they watched it that much, to be fair, because when they're claiming to be out in the sticks on their own 1,000 metres from any other property and they turn the camera slightly and there's Christmas lights on the next door fucking neighbour, man did I laugh.
Also, Tanner, what in the blue hell is curious evidence? Because believing every word that comes out of your spirit chat does not count as evidence. The absolute lack of accountability they're willing to take for any of their actions is just very telling.
Not only is it very telling, but it's almost like a blueprint for fakers when they caught. Take no accountability, admit to nothing, hide the evidence.
And just for Tanner, I'd like to give him a quick definition of the word accusation. It just means that you said that they did something morally wrong, illegal, or unkind, all right? Evidence, no evidence, you said it. In my opinion, Tanner has made it very clear that they did not have permission in one form or another. Is it permission to post on YouTube? Is it the house? Is it both? I don't know.
Well, I don't think we'll ever know without the other homeowner getting in touch from the second property and without the other half of the homeowners, the divorced couple from the first property. Because we can't take anything that Haunt Media say. We can't take any of it at face value. Because some of you guys may not know, but when I first started, the first real bit of trouble I got into was with Mindseed fans. Not Mindseed themselves, they barely mentioned it. But the whole thing about Big Fat Beardo Weirdo came from Mindseed fans. It was my first big debunk video. It was the first video that gained any traction on my channel. And I wasn't like, oh my god, they called me fat, I'm so upset. I was like, haha, Fat Weirdo Weirdo, I like it. My audience are now Beardos Weirdos, and I've got Mindseed to thank for that in a way. But then they went on a podcast, and I would say where the podcast is because I think it's still out, but I actually like the guy that held the podcast with them. He got his pants pulled down as much as the viewers do. So I'll leave that where that is. But Casey and Colton were just like, yeah, these fucking armchair critics. They don't know party poopers. And they wouldn't say anybody's names because God help that their audience find these small channels that are saying that ain't real. How much damage would that do to them? But it was quite nasty in places, and I was like, yeah, we are the lunatics, we are the haters, we are the liars. Fine. So I kept making Mindseed videos. It's what I do. People call me a liar, people call me toxic and nasty. I'm like, all right, fine, get another video then. Because, as I said to Mason about this, I would rather be a sit-down critic than a stand-up liar. These people earn fuck tons of money off their content, whether it be Mindseed or now Haunt Media, because they've 100k subscribers already. They're earning a lot of money already. They've earned a lot of money with Mindseed already, I imagine. And it's all based off lying to their audiences. This is real. What about that cut before the chairs stacked up that Dandalf spotted? Nah, it's real. They are just haters. So who's the bad guy there? Dandalf for pointing it out, or Mindseed for trying to bury that and then calling naysayers haters? Who's the bad one there? When that ball rolled across the floor for a split few seconds, everything else moved with it. That looks like masking to me. Who's the bad guy there? Me for spotting it, or Mindseed for faking it? For example, I called out Mindseed for Colton's reflection being caught in a picture frame. And I'm going, ooh, there he is, look, there's Colton. And I put a side by side and all that stuff. And a lot of people were like, oh no, that's not Colton, that's the ghost. And then Mindseed ran with that. They put out another video like, yeah, that's a ghost. Because Colton was clearly in bed. It's like, it's fucking Colton's reflection. Who's the bad guy there? Me for saying, that's Colton being caught in the reflection of a picture frame or whatever it was, or them saying, nah, that's actually the ghost. Caught in there, we missed it.
They clearly don't seem to feel the weight and responsibility of the accusations they made against this family, and then broadcasted to over 50,000 people.
50,000 people now think that that family is made up of wrong-uns to children and murderers. Bravo, Haunt Media, bravo.
As long as it's a good story, they seem perfectly content to post it on YouTube. And I did actually
and this is the same for Mackie and Amanda and Selena Spooky Boo and all these other people that go out, do this. It said murder. It said she died here. And then they solve crimes off a word bank on their phone or a word bank off a device. But they're using real people. They are using real people's names and real people's histories and meshing them in with devices and fake mediums. This is as bad, if not worse, than what the ITC channels are doing.
Respond to Tanner, but he didn't see it because by that point I had already been
blocked. Blocked, right? I've had that. Answer me, motherfucker. I can't. You blocked me. Happens all the time.
Blocked. So I guess that's one way to deal with criticism. But I still had questions, and I thought, hey, you know, if Tanner's willing to respond, maybe Colton will too. And
good shout.
If Tanner's response was bad, Colton's is absolutely unhinged.
Oh, yeah. It was like they looked at Casey's ego, and Colton went, yeah, can't be a Mindseed anymore because of his ego, and he doesn't want to investigate anymore. But I'm stealing his ego. Jesus.
So again, I'll read you what I said, and then I'll show Colton's response. Hi Colton, my name is Mason. I am a YouTuber and independent journalist, and I reached out to Tanner concerning a couple of videos posted to Haunt Media that gave away info about certain families and locations. Full disclosure, I plan to run a story about this because I've spoken to the homeowner of the ghost house property, and they do not know who you are and believe that you did not have permission. Now, that being said, my goal is the truth. I think it's possible. Someone said you could go on the property, the same someone you mentioned who told you about the Doc's house.
What he's doing there is giving them an out. And stupidly, they didn't take it. They weren't like, oh, maybe we were misfed some information. They just go like, haha, I see your truth and I raise you. Massive fucking ego.
I want to confirm who this individual is if they exist. Tanner blocked me when I asked who gave you guys permission to go on the property, and I'm hoping you are not going to do the same. I am aware of and know the names of the current owners of both properties, and I am willing to keep all of the family's information private. But I am trying to give you every opportunity to clear the record before the story comes out.
Can you get much more fair than that? I don't think so. Obviously, Colton here should be responding with, hey, I appreciate it. But, or I appreciate it, damn, maybe you're right.
Here's what he said back. I don't want to disparage you in any way, but I wish I could understand your motivations.
Truth.
At the end of the day, man, hate and causing problems isn't going to take you far. And this niche is a little too small for you to build anything meaningful on sensationalism.
Pot kettle, you jacked up idiot. What the fuck? Let's break this down. I don't want to disparage you in any way. It just reeks of like a underhanded comment there. At the end of the day, hate and causing problems isn't going to take you far in this niche. How is getting the truth out there hate? The only people that think that the truth is hate are the liars. The people that are lying about people, about properties, about devices, about where they are, about who they are. That is the hating. That is the bad side of the paranormal. Not the people going, I'm going to shine a light on that. I don't think that's true. Hater! I don't think you should be touching that. That's a hater. I don't think the house is where you claim it is. Hater! And this niche is a little too small for you to build anything meaningful on sensationalism. Says the guys that have just been proven to have made up an entire backstory about people that don't exist in a home that you've got no goddamn right going into. And you want to speak to Mason like that, I assume because he's a small channel, because you've never really engaged with anyone else. You just take slight digs on podcasts.
We've been down the defamation route before. So
when? With whom? Prove it. Colton, please show us the proof of you taking people for defamation. Because I assume you're trying to talk about debunkers here, yet all the debunkers speak. We don't have these egos and walls up around us like we are the centre of the fucking universe. And not a single one of us has had a defamation claim or a takedown from you guys.
I guess I would just caution you to be accurate with your reporting. You're talking about rundown old buildings with local lore and alleged stories, distant family members of absentee owners, etc.
Just because they don't live there and the place is run down doesn't give you the right to go and make up stories about people in living memory. That's disgusting. And then to use this attitude and ego, what a knobhead.
At the end of the day, there has been hundreds of guys just like you that try to monetize their debunking.
I didn't try to monetize my debunking, Colton. I monetized my debunking. It wasn't even on purpose. This was just something because I became bored of Twitch. I became bored of my old YouTube channel, which is far more wholesome and unboxings and collecting and all the geeky stuff that I love. Very little interest in it. Calling you guys out for the grifters that I believe you to be did pretty well for me. But this debunking. Now, everybody makes this mistake on the fake side of the paranormal. They think that debunking means calling somebody fake. That is not what it means. What debunking actually is taking the falseness from a claim. Whether that falseness is a lie or an accident is two very different things. You only get defensive about debunking because you know you're full of shit and you know we're right. Debunking, there is no debunking. What there actually is you lot ghost hunting or investigating, because that's not what you're doing. You're creating weekly horror content, and I imagine you could be honest about it and say for entertainment purposes and still do quite well. However, something always bothered me with Mindseed. You'd get these fantastic introductions. Everything would be like smooth and the sound was crisp and great and fantastic. And then, hello? Filming on phones. And I'm like, really? You've clearly got expensive cameras, but you choose to use your phone and a torchlight and put little effort in. The reason they used torchlight and the phones was because it lowers the quality. Phones are not too good in low light, or they weren't back then, especially in video mode, and they could hide the wires and stuff that they used to use. Or when they shake a barn and pretend it's a demon or some shit.
Debunking channels. And ultimately, it just ends up with you putting in a lot of effort for very little reward. And
ultimately, it ends up with you putting in a lot of effort for very little reward. The big channels keep on getting bigger. Do they? Because I can tell you of a very large channel that stopped pretty much because I kept debunking them. I'm pretty sure that you guys felt the sting of my debunks because some of my biggest videos for a time were Mindseed videos. And you guys must have noticed it. You must have, because you kept bitching about it on podcasts and live streams. And to say that we make no difference, or to say that very little reward, you took 2 of your videos down because of debunking. Do you realise how stupid you look here, Colton?
Channels keep on getting bigger. Honestly, man, I'm going to pray for you because you seem like a young guy with some confidence issues.
Now, that is just a shitty little jab. You seem like a young guy trying to say he's inexperienced with some confidence issues. Now, he's very new to YouTube, is Mason. He's never struck me as not very confident. Just because he isn't Dude Bro Protein Shake. Hello? I've never seen him run from a squeaking door. You lot have. You can bench press your way into oblivion. But when a door squeaks and you run away screaming, you still look like a bunch of wet farts.
That sick joy you feel.
Now, Mason is normally very, very polite and very, very nice. He doesn't really use any bad language or anything in his videos, but in this one, he goddams a few times and he swears a couple of times because he's so annoyed. Welcome to my world, Mason. But I'm a horrible prick. Especially when it comes to liars. And that tickled my funny bone.
From doxing random videos isn't going to help you love your family more, nor get you closer to God.
I'm sure God, if he exists, Colton, really loves the fact that you are manipulating 100,000 people. That's what your channel size is now. You are manipulating 100,000 people. Do you think God is sat up on his cloud being like, oh, you're doing the Lord's work there. Fair play to you boys. Keep bench pressing. Keep curling them weights. Keep training. Get that protein down you. And lie for everything. I am so proud. If God is real, then so is the devil. And if the devil is real, you're aligning more with him there. You're more like the guy with horns, lying to and manipulating people. The sick joy you feel from doxing random videos. How do you dox a random video? It's out publicly for all to see. You name these places. You say they're in East Texas, and then you use real family names, but make up family members and make up crimes. Isn't that closer to doxing than what Mason has done? Why throw God in the mix? That came so far to the left, considering everything you guys do is demonic, evil, nasty and shit. What the fuck?
Peace be with you, man. You're pretty talented, and I hope you find a better way to use it. Holy shit.
Language, Mason.
My jaw was on the floor when I read that. I am not sure I have ever seen somebody so detached from reality. He accuses me of hate and causing problems, but by hate and causing problems, do you mean defending innocent families and calling you out on your bullshit?
That's exactly what he means. He's just trying to defend the grift. That's not Mason calling you grifters. That's me saying, in my opinion, Mindseed and now Haunt Media are grifters. Snake oil salesmen. Charlatans.
And then the gall to say that, you know, this niche is too small to build anything on sensationalism when I had to sit through your 2-hour video that was nothing but sensationalizing a fictional story.
But making it out to be real and using real families. Tisk tisk. Hey, that's a cool cowboy hat. I got 2. See, I wore a waistcoat, I wore a tie, I got 2 cowboy hats. Come on, Mason, keep up.
Honestly, if I didn't know any better, I would think this was parody. Now, this next part is pretty telling, and honestly, it felt a little bit threatening. And I don't know if that's just because Colton is kind of an intense guy, you know?
He's intensely stupid.
So he may not have meant it that way, but it's hard to say. Colton, buddy, I am directly asking you to confirm or deny these allegations.
Colton, I second that. I am promoting this video from Mason because I like to help out smaller creators. I like to, in this tiny niche, help people out. I've helped Mason out a couple of times. Same as back in the day, Dandalf the Grey, the World of Mr. Grey, the Sheep helped me out. And then when the side-eye guy came in behind me, we all shouted him. It's just the way this community works. You know, this community of debunkers built on sensationalism. Just how we work. While we may not have the numbers you do, it's because we don't sensationalise, and it's because we're honest. I have paid, probably in the history of this channel now, in the thousands of pounds for investigating and equipment and fuel and all of that stuff to mostly come up empty-handed. And you guys go out with a flashlight and a torch. Ah, scary, ghost. Every goddamn building you go in.
I am making my best effort to get to the truth of the situation. And if you've been down the defamation route before, then you should know that the best defense against defamation is the truth.
Hallelujah, brother. Sorry. Now, I am making a lot of jokes and I am like being overactive. I don't know why, but when I stand up and do videos, I got like this energy to me. And I really enjoy making videos stood up for some reason. But I am taking the piss and I am being a bit over dramatic and stuff because I want to get as many eyes on this as possible. Because Mindseed and now Haunt Media kept getting caught with their pants down and the excuses and the lies and the bullshit alibis and, oh yeah, we're in this state and they proved not to be. It's all really, really pathetic for them to be like in the top 10 paranormal YouTubers. It's actually disgraceful. And I genuinely want Mason to grow. I want people to watch this video, his entire video, to see everything he dug up, all the lies that he proved, and then I want Mindseed to be held accountable. I really do. Sorry, Haunt Media, because I don't think they speak to Casey anymore. And so should all of the other people that do this. All of the people that go out and make up crimes, make up histories, lie about people, they should be held accountable. Like the Warrens should have been held accountable for the shitstorm that happened to Bathsheba Sherman and her grave. Utterly disgraceful, because this is what all of these YouTubers are doing. They're no different to the Warrens. They turn up to a location, they lie to the owners, or they lie about the owners, they make up stories, and then they make up evil characters, often based off real life people that may have lived. It's dangerous. It's disgusting. It hurts living people. Now, they made up this ghost, by the look of it, but the family and the homeowners are real.
I asked you directly, and you were uncooperative and unwilling to answer any of my questions. And the reason I'm wearing this suit today is just to let you know that if you try to come after me for defamation, this is the suit you're gonna see in court.
Zing. Wear a tie, Mason.
We'll take it all the way. Just imagine all the wonderful stuff we could get into during the discovery process. Now, this next part should really piss off just about everybody in the debunking community. He makes it very clear that he thinks we have no effect on any of the bigger paranormal channels and that they just keep on getting bigger. And
they do keep on getting bigger, and that's why we keep making videos on the same channels, is to, as their influx of viewers come in, some may see what we're doing and be like, holy shit, these guys may be lying. I have XPLR fans in my audience.
And harps on monetization. Newsflash, Colton. Not everybody does this for money. I do this because I want to know the truth about people's paranormal claims.
As do all of us, but at some point, some of us become monetized. There's nothing wrong with monetizing your content. There's nothing wrong with monetizing honesty. There's nothing wrong with monetizing fake paranormal content, as long as it's labeled as such. Yasko has been very honest with it. This video is for entertainment purposes. This is a weekly horror show. The three guys that keep going out with Yasko, pretending to still be real, while Yasko is saying this is bullshit, Yasko is doing really well, despite saying, just a weekly horror show. Because what it allowed Yasko to do is go even further with it and act up even more for the camera, because he's got that disclaimer. It's in text at the beginning of his videos. It's in his video description. That's the debunkers that did that. Yasko personally messaged me, then came on one of my live streams, donated like $50 and was like, Beardo, I know we've gone at it, but you've got a point. I'm going to put for entertainment. And then we had a private conversation where I apologised for how rude I'd been to him. He was like, yeah, do you know what? It is what it is, but I'm going to put this disclaimer. And I was like, make sure it's at the top, not at the bottom. And if you can, put it in the video. The next video he put out, there it was, in text at the beginning of his video. But we don't make a difference. don't we? We do.
It's not about the money for me. It might be for you, but not for everybody. And I think you're wrong because of my investigation, you had to take 2 of your biggest videos down. If that's not making an impact, then I don't know what is.
And the same has happened to numerous debunkers on numerous channels. We have all at some point impacted a channel where they've retracted something, issued an apology, or flat out removed a video. I don't feel bad for that, because the truth has won in those circumstances. And again, like Mason has said, it's not always about the money. For a lot of people, it's not about the money at all. I think there's only me and the side-eye guy that do this full time. Everybody else does this outside of the job for a bit of fun, to get the truth out there. Kenny Biddle does it full time, but not YouTube, as a job for the Centre of Inquiry. Is he a hater? Is he sensationalist? He's the most matter-of-fact man I know.
Say I get some kind of sick pleasure from doxing videos. First of all, you're the one who doxed private families. You did that, not me. Don't hate on me just because I called you out for it. The only pleasure I get is knowing that I helped protect the privacy of a family and that I was able to help set the record straight.
And bravo to you, sir. Bravo. Fair play to you. And fair play to you for standing up to these guys. They're not small fish. They're not small men. Fair play to you, Mason. The truth. That's all the guy wants, is the truth. And then you try to run him down. You absolute bellend.
And I don't know what's going on with all the God stuff, but I think that your video probably takes you a lot further away from God than mine.
South. Very far south.
So this story is far from over. Remember, this is part 1 of 2. And this second investigation at the Doc's house somehow manages to get even more insane than this one. That video will likely drop in about a week.
So again, please do go check out Mason, check out that full video, make sure you subscribe to him and hit the notifications so you get the alert for next week's video where he does the second property, which somehow managed to be worse. And I'm probably going to react to that one as well, but I'm not going to wear a suit. Mason, stand your ground. Absolutely stand your ground. I've had people threaten me with defamation. I've had false legal papers sent through email to me on a number of occasions, and I've disproved all of them. I've had people threaten to sue me. Nothing has ever amounted from any of it. It's all just blowing hot air at you to see if they can scare you off digging any deeper into them. Don't let it. In fact, let it fuel you like it fuels me to dig deeper into these assholes, because I'm going to start looking into haunt media more. I did actually record a video on haunt media when they first started, where they went to the Las Vegas Clown Hotel with his old murders and stuff, and I was so bored, because without Casey, damn is it a hard watch to get through an episode of these guys. Just sat there fumbling with their devices, waiting for shit to happen, and then talking in a very monotone, protein bro. So do please let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Please go and check Mason. I think this is a very important video. I think we need to blow his video up. I don't care about sharing mine. Hit the link, go to him, share his video. There has been a few videos come from the debunking community that I think need pushing. That is one of them. I had one myself, the in-lawman thing. That got pushed quite hard by everyone. It was probably the last big video I had. But this ain't about me. This is about me trying to help out Mason, trying to get some eyes on the truth and Mason's channel, because he's doing some good work out there. And to show my support, I even wore a 2-piece suit. So please, go and check that out. Like and subscribe and share and all that shit on this video if you really want to. And hype, but make sure you go check out Mason's. Much love to you all. Beardo out.